Alright, welcome to the What Was That channel. I'm just doing a little audio test here. I ran into massive amounts of audio problems last night. So we're going to see if we can straighten those out and see how it sounds today on this test stream. Nothing major, nothing exciting, but we want to make sure the What Was That channel is running smoothly. So when breaking news comes out, we can get it to you. Alright, let's see here. Alright, it looks as though I got some good signal going. Alright, so I'm going to test some audio out here. I'm going to play a video while playing some audio in the background. Last night I had massive amounts of audio trouble, so I'm just trying to straighten these out in this little test stream. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about, you can type it in the chat. But go ahead and enjoy this video and some music while I set up some stuff. Make sure everything works. And if you do hear my audio and it sounds good, let me know out there. It's greatly appreciated. All right. It says my live stream health is super bad. So I'm just trying to work on getting it up and running. Trust me, there's nothing fun about this. Let's see. It's telling me to use a keyframe frequency for, like, where the fuck do I even fix that? It's mildly upsetting. The stream's current bitrate is higher than recommended bitrate. Alright, so let's pull this back. Let me go to settings, go to output, bitrate. Let's do 1500. Let's try that. Let's see if we can do this. They went to the moon in '69. I'm trying to live stream in 2018. So let's see here. Maybe this will help. Please use a keyframe frequency. Yeah, the Libra 61 star, I appreciate that. Uh-oh, sound just cut out. I can hear you when you talk. Very low volume, though. All right, what about that? Is that a little bit louder? YouTube is saying that all my settings are messed up. It's really frustrating. Let me see here. Let's try that. All right, how's the audio now? I messed with some settings. Really, I'm barely audible. This is crazy. Man, I mean, I don't know what to do. It's like OBS overnight just like died, and it doesn't want to do anything. Oh, man. I appreciate the help out there. Libra 61, it's greatly appreciated, because without you, I'd have to go back and rewatch the stream to see how it sounds. So I really do appreciate it. It's good now? Excellent. Excellent. I'm just, and again, I'm not doing any content, so I apologize. I'm just trying to get the live stream set up properly again. Something crazy happened, and last night I had all these issues with the audio, so I'm trying to get it working today. So I appreciate the help. I really do. And now it's saying my my entire keyframes are all messed up and stuff. So I don't even know what's going on. I really don't. Is it buffering at all? Does it seem to be buffering? I'm going to play this video and see if that really puts the old... Let's see. I'm going to put the old CPU to work and see if it buffers. It literally has me read live stream health, bad video settings. Please use keyframe frequency. I mean, I don't know. Awesome, awesome. That's all right, let me bring the mic up a little bit more. Let me check some other settings on my PC. I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta go like this here. I really appreciate the help. You don't even know. I'm gonna go to the control panel in the computer and see if I can up the recording, my external mic. I'm gonna go to properties here. We're gonna bring it up here. How's that? All right, I brought the mic up a little bit more. Let's see. How's that? P900 Cool Pics. Glad you're here. I'm just doing a test stream. I had massive amounts of audio issues last night. My computer refused to do any microphone pickup, so I had to use a backup computer. And I'm trying to fix the regular computer I use today, and all the settings are all crazy, and I don't understand why. It's annoying. All right, and how's the audio? I brought the mic up a lot. There is, yeah, it's because of this. I know. Man, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and I don't want you guys to hear a buzz. That's not going to happen. Yeah, it only lets me do... Yeah, it lets me only do 10. Let me try this. Perfect for deaf people. Like, I don't have headphones in, so I can't even hear what it sounds like. I'm relying on you, you out there in the chat room, who are greatly helping me. I really appreciate it, because I have no content going on. I'm just trying to get the stream up and running. And I think for helping me, I'm gonna have to do some coverage of some things. All right. So let's see. Let's see here. Sounds good, but is the buzz still there? I cut back the audio on OBS, but it's ridiculous. I'm gonna have to use my other computer, I think. It was better at, oh, you did see, okay. Awesome. All right, let me do that and this. All right, so I have, here, I'll show you. So it's on 00, and then I have my OBS microphone fully maxed out here. So I don't know what's going on. And I have a nice microphone. I have 4 different microphones that I've tried, and I worked on a new video and accidentally deleted it after 3 hours. I know how you feel about that. All right, so the mic boost is at 0 decibels. I got 0 decibels on the mic boost. Yeah, that's horrible, Libra. I'm sorry about that. I never knew how much work went into this stuff until I personally started streaming. It was always like, oh, you just go online and stream, and yeah, if you don't have a little game plan or a notebook, it's just a mess. At least for me, I'm a mess if I don't have a little bit of organization. Dummy went to bed after that. All right, let's see here. Well, I'm going to try to go over a couple things then. If the mic is working, and it seems to be mildly working. Check this out. I'm going to show you. My video settings are completely awful. It says, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which will cause buffering. The current keyframe frequency is 8.3. Like, where do I fix that? So it went from being awesome to content issues detected. Oh, that's why. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's super annoying. How is the audio from, let's say, oh, hold on. Ugh, I'm sorry. I want to get, let's see. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. All right, let's check out this little news clip while we're all hanging out. Hey, Billy Sanchez, I appreciate you stopping through. I'm just working on some mic issues. I had massive issues with my OBS last night. I have no problems any other time recording, making videos, any of that stuff. My OBS works. Last night when I wanted to cover child trafficking, it wouldn't work. I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but it's a coincidence. And I'm just trying to fix that computer because it's my streaming computer and I want that to work. So I appreciate it. So let's take a quick look at this and see what's going on here. And let me know how the audio is out there. Not only just for my microphone, but for the video. All right, let's check it out.
Against an area doctor for overprescribing psychotropic drugs to a 3-year-old in foster care.
It is the latest development in a disturbing case involving a little girl who was lucky to survive her time spent in the custody of Child Protective Services. Here's Randy Wallace with the exclusive Fox 26 investigation.
Here's 4-year-old Rachel Harrison before Child Protective Services took her away from her parents. Once CPS takes over, you can see the drastic changes for yourself.
And as a parent, it's very hard to deal with because your baby's in trouble and you can't do anything to help.
Watch as the bubbly little girl starts looking more like some neglected waif while under CPS's care.
Rachel was never in any way abused or neglected, except by CPS.
In numerous court hearings, CPS caseworkers would admit they had no reason to think Rachel's parents ever neglected or abused her. The only reason CPS took custody was the young parents' recreational drug use, something they admitted to and lived to regret. But ironically, Rachel would be the one hooked on drugs while...
Yeah, I'm going to pause the video real quick because I see last night's live stream was disturbing, but good. Need to know the content. Absolutely. I was up for another 2 hours just laying around, just upset. And you're right, it's 100% disturbing. And it's going to get worse as it comes out. And the only way it's going to come out is if we show the people, us, the public, what's happening, what's not being covered by the news. We have to drag it to light, and then justice will be served. And here we're looking how a 3-year-old is prescribed 6 psychotropic drugs from Child Protective Services. They removed this child from these parents, not because they were bad parents. They admitted they did nothing wrong to the child. It was they used recreational marijuana, and you lose your child. And then they put your child on 6 psychotropic drugs because that is how you help children and help families. Right. Is anyone out there want to defend why you would give a 3-year-old 6 psychotropic drugs? I don't think so. It's absolutely sad. I'm not a parent, but I have a heart and a brain and a soul. And to see this go on is disgusting. Sure, some parents are awful and kids get taken away, but these parents got their child taken away because they used recreational marijuana. And then the child is now on 6 psychotropic drugs. Why do you need to drug a child? That's right, they steal children. That's right, they steal children. Absolutely. P900, it's disgusting. Disgusting. I'm going to continue playing. I'm going to try and not interrupt the clip, but sometimes, I mean, it's just insane. At least.
Under CPS's watch, including Risperdal, a drug used to treat schizophrenia and bipolar disorder that, according to the FDA, should not be given to a child under 10.
I'm 3 years old, given a psychotropic drug. There's no reason for it, none at all.
It was 2007 when CPS first entered the family's life. The state agency took Rachel into protective custody soon after her birth because her mom tested positive for marijuana. This 2007 home video shows a horrific case of diaper rash Rachel had while in foster care.
I don't want to watch the diaper rash stuff, but you heard it yourself. The big point is, your government is tricking you into thinking Child Protective Services is great. Yeah, we need that. I'm signing up. I'm writing them a check right now because Child Protective Services sounds great on paper. You're right. I'm going to write a check right now. Here you go, Child Protective Services. You're helping, right? And then they trick you. They take your kids. Now that it's a government agency, what are you going to do? They'll just take you to court until you're broke. And then they take your kid and put them on psychotropic drugs? I bet 80% of these kids that are trafficked are drugged up. It's just disturbing. Absolutely disturbing. And I just was looking for just other things for child trafficking. The drugs came up with the psychotropic drugs, and I'm like, well, why are kids on this? Like, I don't know. I never even knew about this. They're giving medication to a 3-year-old that shouldn't be used under 10 years old. Now, if you were to do that, just like these parents, if you were to give the child a prescription drug that's not allowed for anyone under 10 years old, they would lose their child. Yet Child Protective Services gets to do the exact same thing, and it's okay, and they get to keep your child. They just broke the law, didn't they? They gave you 3-year-old drugs that weren't allowed for someone under 10 years old. Are they going to get in trouble? Absolutely not, because precious government could never do anything wrong, and the sheeple that believe it will just defend them. How dare you? 6? That child should be on 8 psychotropic drugs, because that's how we help them. I'm sorry, if you defend that, you need to take a long walk off a short bridge. Exactly. That's why I don't watch the news any longer, or any TV. Yep, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I try not to watch it, but I watch so much YouTube. I come across stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. It's crazy. Yep, exactly. CBD, of course. Trust me. It's coming around. People are waking up. They know the benefit of CBDs. And the people in the government who don't, I think it's 50-50 in the government. Half the government really doesn't care if you have it. The other half does, because they make money off prosecuting you, all this other crap and whatever. But I think enough people are starting to wake up, because there's undeniable proof that CBD oils literally help people. You cannot deny that cutting seizures back 95% is a bad thing. No. CBD, no. They're supposed to have that seizure. No. F you. It's a fucking plant. And it's helping people. Absolutely. Fear. It's 100% fear of porn. And you can literally, the biggest fear porn for me indicator was the North Korea nuclear missiles. You're talking a country that can't even produce a car. They can't even produce good electricity. And yet they're going to have an ICBM that can come all the way. Come on, no, they didn't do anything. Just like they didn't do it. It's just a joke. It's a joke to get you scared. Here we go.
Hello, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of Kidnapped Hearts, the weekly TV show brought to you by the International Criminal Court against child kidnapping. We are committed to bringing you the ugly truth about the corrupted family court systems and the heinous crimes against children, which the government continues to turn a blind eye to. Today, we have an episode that needs your urgent attention. We'll be uncovering a corrupt system where children are being deliberately drugged in foster care for the benefit of the state. Sadly, those with voices that are too small to speak up are often the ones who are the most vulnerable. And for many children across the world, this is tragically too often the case. In the United States, every day, children are being taken away from their family homes, sometimes in circumstances that are unfounded and unjust. Their young lives become further abused within a system that was essentially established to protect them. They are often left to languish in the care system for many years, with no sign of being reunited with their loved ones. These experiences often lead to mental, emotional, and sometimes even physical suffering. Here are some harrowing facts for you. There is believed to be around 428,000 children in the American foster care system at any given period. It is estimated that in the United States, on average, a child will remain in the care system for around 2 years, and the average age of a child in the care system is 9 years old. In 2015, there were more than 670,000 children who spent time in foster care in the United States. And out of those children, more than half of them were ethnic minorities. And whilst all this is going on, there is something even far more sinister brewing in the underbelly of the social care system. A lot of these children are being prescribed psychiatric drugs at doses higher than the maximum amount that is approved by the FDA. Yes, you heard me correctly. Psychiatric drugs at doses higher than what is approved by the FDA. The government...
How can they get away with this? How? I mean, I know how they do it. People just don't pay attention, so they can just continue to do it. But, like, in my brain, I have to ask, how do they get away with this? It's almost like, I don't know, it's so disconcerting. I feel like my effort is useless. I feel that 100 of us could do the same a broadcast of the same thing about this, and nobody, you know, very few would care. They're exceeding the recommended dosages for children. And the drugs already hurt full-size humans with fully developed organs, livers, kidneys, stuff that can process this stuff. And they're amping it up for kids. Because these are doctors and they know what they're doing. And what they're doing is not helping them.
Accounting Office, GAO, revealed the overuse and abuse of such drugs in foster care in a report that stated, some states' prescription drugs are covered by Medicaid managed care plans, in which drug payments are included in the capitated payments that plans receive from states. For this review, we selected states that cover psychotropic medications, largely under fee-for-service programs, so that individual drug claims could be analysed. In Michigan, Oregon and Texas, psychotropic medications were primarily paid on a fee-for-service basis. In Florida and Massachusetts, psychotropic prescription claims for most foster children were paid on a fee-for-service basis, with the remaining children largely covered by managed care. ABC News attributed the government's key role in prescribing of some of the most powerful mind-altering drugs to children in the report by saying, overall, the GAO looked at nearly 100,000 foster children in the 5 states and found that more than 1/4 of foster children were prescribed at least one psychiatric drug. The GAO found foster children were prescribed psychotropic drugs at rates up to nearly 5 times higher than non-foster children, with foster children in Texas being the most likely to receive the medications compared to foster children in the other 4 states. Although the actual percentages of children who receive 5 or more psychiatric drugs at the same time were low in the 5 states, including the GAO report, the chances of a foster child compared to a non-foster child being given 5 or more psychiatric drugs at the same time were alarming. In Texas, foster children were 53 times more likely to be prescribed 5 or more psychiatric medications at the same time than non-foster children. In Massachusetts, they were 19 times more likely. In Michigan, the number was 15 times. It was 13 times in Oregon. And in Florida, foster children were nearly 4 times as likely to be given 5 or more psychotropic medications at the same time compared to non-foster children. Foster children were also more than 9 times more likely than non-foster children to be prescribed drugs for which there was no FDA recommended dose for their age. For the most vulnerable foster children, those less than 1-year-old, foster children were nearly twice as likely to be prescribed a psychiatric drug compared to non-foster children. When Senator Thomas Carpenter Dedell, lead requester of the GAO report, first learned of the report's findings, he said, "I was almost despondent to believe that the kids under the age of 1, babies under the age of 1, were receiving this kind of medication." ABC...
Babies under the age of 1 are receiving psychotropic drugs. Now, I'm no doctor, but I don't think I have to be to assume that that's not good. seeing that if I turn on the TV, all it is lawyer ads for pharmaceutical drugs hurting people. So how can you put a drug that hurts full-grown adults that can't process it, can't do this in their systems, that are full-grown organs, and you're going to give it to a child, a 1-year-old, that has 17 more years of growth? It's just crazy. It's absolutely horrifying. You can hear? Yeah, you can hear me typing. I literally have my microphone like clipped to my laptop, so it like travels through via vibration and it picks it up at the same time. I'm gonna put up my thing here and see if I can do the mute when I do that. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it's insane. Who in their right mind, I'm going to be honest, if I were to go in public and show people this, I bet I'd get 10 people that support it. I'm not kidding. Who here thinks people would support this if they saw it? I do. I think people are so asleep. They believe in doctors and they believe in all these government agencies so much that even though they know giving these drugs to a 1-year-old is bad, it's good because doctors would never do anything bad. They would never do that. They can't. A doctor could never hurt you. I can't believe it. Let's just continue this little clip here. Let's see here.
News has reviewed dozens of medical studies published in recent years that echo GAO's findings. Research showing foster children receive psychiatric medications up to 13 times more often than kids in the general population. In some parts of the country, as many as half of foster kids are on 1 or more psychiatric medications. This compared to just 4% of kids in the general population. One such child who fell into this horrendous cycle was Keontae, an 11-year-old from Texas who ABC News had followed for almost a year. ABC News reported, neglected and often left home alone with his 1-year-old sister, Keontae became a ward of the state at the tender age of 4. Keontae was placed with a relative who, he said, beat him with belts, switches and extension cords, which not only left him with physical scars on his body, he showed ABC News, but, understandably, with anger and despair. Simply too much for the relative, the state of Texas bounced Keontae between 6 foster homes and hospitals over just 4 years. Along the way, Keontae's trauma was treated with an onslaught of psychotropic drugs, powerful mind-altering medicines like the mood stabilizer Depakote, the stimulant Vyvanse, the antidepressant Lexapro, clonidine for ADHD, and the antipsychotic Seroquel.
All right. I almost can't believe what I just heard. Neglected and often left alone with his 1-year-old sister, Keontae became a ward of the state at the tender age of 4. So a 4-year-old, okay, let's presume a year goes by. So let's say 5. Keontae's trauma was treated, well, let's count. A 5-year-old was treated with, let's see how many psychiatric drugs. And we know they overdo the recommended amount. So let's see how many massive quantities of psychiatric drugs our caring government is pumping into a 5-year-old. Depakote, 1. Vaillant, I don't know how to say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5 psychotropic drugs for a 5-year-old. And then when he's 6, he gets 6 because, you know, that's good. He gets 1 for his age. So when he's 8, he'll have 8, you know, it's just insane. Oh my God. I like can't believe it. I gotta play this because I'm just gonna rant, and I don't want to rant because.
And the antipsychotic Seroquel. I was put on bipolar meds. I am not bipolar at all, Keontae told ABC News' Diane Sawyer. Keontae was on at least 12 psychiatric medications while in foster care, up to 4 of them at the same time. I was on a whole lot of medicines that I should have not been on, Keontae told ABC News. And his new family, Carol and Scott Cook, were on a mission to get Keontae off drugs. He is now in therapy beginning to heal. Additionally, his doctor now says Keontae doesn't have ADHD and he's not bipolar. The truth is that it's easy to simply label children within the care system as having various mental illnesses. Children in foster care are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed as having bipolar disorder. The harsh reality is that they're frequently being prescribed these psychiatric drugs not only as a means to control them, but also because these children are potential customers. This should come as no surprise when you consider that Medicaid spends almost $6 billion each year on psychiatric medicine. And if you take into account that foster children receive government insurance from Medicare, which coincidentally includes mental health services, then it all begins to make a bit more sense why no one is ready to address this problem. Each state applies for Medicaid for foster children, and the US Department for Health and Human Service governs these programs that are run by the state. In the 5 states mentioned earlier in the GAO report, $200 million was spent in Texas alone. This is ethically and morally wrong on so many levels. These children, sometimes babies, are torn away from their homes in conditions that are often traumatic. What they need is care, attention, and affection. The last thing they need is psychoactive drugs that disrupt their normal brain function. After these drugs are administered, the child becomes far more sedated and zombie-like, making them far easier to control. Medicines of this nature have an adverse effect in the way a child's brain will develop. Numerous studies have highlighted the way...
Did you already said? These drugs will inhibit the way a child's brain develops. But they know that. They're doctors. And that's good. That's what they want. They don't want your brain to develop because giving you the drugs is helping you. I'm just trying to put it together in my mind because, you know, I'm just a regular person. They're doctors. They're above me. And I shouldn't question them. But giving medication knowing it will inhibit the growth of the brain is good. Giving children 2 times the recommended dose of medications that they don't even need is good because I'm a doctor.
in which such drugs contribute to depression, anxiety, hostility, aggression, and mania. As it progresses to further issues, a cocktail of drugs may be then prescribed to the child, which can cause addiction or further mental issues. It will quickly become a dark place where there is no escape for that young child. Even worse, parents or anyone who challenges these prescription drugs can face the real threat of having the child taken away from their care. One such mother, Patricia Weathers, who objected to her son being medicated, faced the daunting task of fighting the system at her son's school. She said, "The school's coercive tactics finally wore me down, and I drugged my son 2 weeks before the end of his first grade year. In third grade, Michael began showing bizarre chewing behaviours, increased anxiety and social withdrawal. He would frequently avoid recess, and when he did go outside for recess, he would stand on the side of the field, shuffling his feet in the dirt, looking down and not socially interacting." The school psychologist's favourite saying through this ordeal was that it was trial and error. If one drug didn't work, then try another. At this point, the school psychologist took me aside and told me that she believed Michael had bipolar or social anxiety disorder and that I should take him to a psychiatrist.
Libra61, I appreciate you being here. You enjoy the rest of your day. You deserve it. Enjoy it out there. But again, I'm going to read the same thing and tell me how I'm not allowed to question a doctor. The school's coercive tactics finally wore me down, and I drugged my son 2 weeks before the end of his first grade year. We need to drug first graders? In third grade, Michael began showing bizarre chewing behaviors, increased anxiety, and social withdrawal. He would frequently avoid recess, and when he did go outside for recess, he would stand on the side of the field, shuffling his feet in the dirt, looking down and not socially interacting. Are all these signs good? The school's psychologist's favorite saying through this ordeal was trial and error. If one drug didn't work, try another. Wait, so they don't even know what they're doing? They're just tossing stuff out there? How dare I question that psychologist? He went to school and has a piece of paper that says MD or whatever the fuck he has on. I don't care. If one drug didn't work, then try another? For a first grader? At this point, the school psychologist took me aside and told me that he believed Michael had bipolar or social anxiety disorder. Yeah, because you have the kid's system flooded with psychoactive drugs. I gotta look at the chat here. Sean G, I appreciate you swinging through. I'm just doing. I meant to do a test stream because all my audio was jacked up last night, and I think I've got it working on my regular laptop. But because I was testing it, all my audio worked. I decided to go into a couple articles that just have me. I'm literally sweating here. I'm like sweating. I'm so mad. Yeah. Sean G. Everyone check out Sean G's channel. Quality content. Aerospace. I'm sorry. I can't even think right now. I'm so mad about the children thing. I'm sorry. Just check out Sean G's channel. You have a variety of content ranging from atmospheric aerosol injections, weather modifications, secret black projects from the military, tactics, anything from geological to biology. Check it out. The diverse content on the Sean G channel is definitely worth checking out. You'll spend some time there. Those poor children are treated like lab. No, P900 Cool Pics. How dare you? No, I'm a doctor. And I am treating their ailments. I'm just kidding. It's absolutely insane, but I'm just being like the naive, regular people. These poor children are treated like lab rats. And here it is right here. If one drug didn't work, try another. And we just let the state say whatever they want. Well, we can't really do anything. They'll send the police to your house. It's just insane. All right, let's continue. We only got a couple more minutes of this clip. And then we can go into talking about it and doing whatever. Maybe look at some stuff that's a little bit more uplifting. But I do have a challenge to the government. I'll show you after we finish this clip. Because I'm done with this shit.
I was never at any time made aware that the drug was not FDA approved for children under the age of 18. I specifically asked this doctor if taking this drug with the stimulants that he was on was safe. She assured both medications taken together was perfectly safe. I found much later by other doctors there were no studies ever done on the side effects of the two drugs taken together. My son had violent mood swings and lost any sense of self-control. When I stopped the drugs, Michael hallucinated for weeks later. The school, realising that I was no longer going to drug my child, dismissed him, and then for a final blow proceeded to call Child Protective Services on my husband and I, charging us with medical neglect for failing to give him necessary medication. There is little doubt that these practices constitute blatant cases of child abuse. The drug companies, the federal government and doctors all over the nation are violating children's rights by this sort of behaviour. It does not take a genius to realise that giving drugs of this nature to already traumatised children spells a recipe for disaster for their future growth and well-being. Sadly, none of the organisations related to mental health or child protection have taken a stand against this horrendous malpractice and abuse. As a result, on a daily basis, children are being dished out these mind-altering drugs that are highly dangerous in too many ways to count. It is about time that we give voices to these innocent victims and call upon the authorities to further investigate and change these immoral practices. Those responsible should be held accountable for these monstrous malpractices and abuse of power, not just for the sake of the children, but because the future of the nation depends on it. I encourage you to share this video with your friends and family. This is a problem that affects both adults and children, and we need to join in standing up against these injustices and to raise awareness. That's all we have time for today on our show. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Kidnapped Hearts. Tell us what you think on our Facebook page at facebook.com/childabductioncourt.org.
I think this guy's, I think this guy's awesome. This guy right here clearly says international court. I'm assuming he doesn't live in the U.S. He may. I don't want to assume anything, but international, maybe he just covers stuff that's in the U.S. This guy possibly doesn't live here in the U.S. and is covering. He did a 12-minute awesome segment of content I would have never been able to find. I wouldn't be able to find these articles with these parents dealing with this stuff. So it's international court. I mean, this is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let me see. My son was on Ritalin and Clonidine. They just, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? When I was a kid, listen, I don't consider myself super old. I'm 34. When I was a kid, you know what I was prescribed? Get your ass outside and play. And I loved it. I played with my friends, come home at 8, take a shower, you're done. You go to bed. Do it all again tomorrow. It's just crazy. And I understand if children do have issues, and as long as they're responsibly prescribed a medication and it actually helps them, then maybe. But when this stuff is going on, these doctors are doubling the limits of the FDA drugs for toddlers having psychiatric drugs, 2 times the recommended dosage. How? And it's hurting them. How? I don't understand. And then they'll sit there and deny CBD has any effect on helping children or people in general. We could make a column of the side effects of CBD versus the side effects of these drugs. And people will still deny. I'm going to be sarcastic. I'm going to do my sarcastic voice. No, CBDs are bad and these psychoactive drugs are good because the doctors say so. No. No. We're done. We're done. Now, are they drugging these kids up because it's easy to move them around? What's going on? Why do they need to drug these kids up? And they're not just drugging them up. They're going crazy. I mean, they're doing 2 times the recommended dosages. For what? Is it easy to move them around? For this child trafficking? Again, I don't want to bring it up, but we need to... There's 800,000 kids missing a year in the U.S. That is 2,200 kids a day. Divide that by 50 states. I'm going to do it right now. Where's my calculator? 2,200 divided by... I'm going to say 50 states. 44 kids per state a day are missing. Okay, so now we have 800,000 kids a year. Here's my challenge to the U.S. government and law enforcement. 800,000 children a year are missing. 44 a day per state. What kind of infrastructure, what type of manpower is needed to traffic this amount of children under the noses of regular people? This is an orchestrated event, an orchestrated system that these people are leeching off our children, stealing them, and trafficking them. And we need to find out how. How does the U.S. government not have a handle on this if they're not involved? Or turning a shy eye? I'm going to play something real quick.
A new crew aboard the space station. Curiosity rover's new science findings on Mars. And celebrating 60 years, Curiosity rover found organic molecules preserved in Mars's harsh surface, as well as seasonal variations in the levels of methane in the Martian atmosphere that suggest the planet could have supported ancient life. Although this is not evidence of life itself, it's a good sign for future missions exploring the red planet's surface and subsurface. The levels of methane in the Martian atmosphere that suggest the planet could have supported ancient life.
They found methane particles in the crust of whatever that could possibly. So you got a fucking instrument on Mars that's a science lab. Okay, let me get this right. Curiosity rover is nuclear powered. It doesn't have solar panels or nothing. This thing is nuclear powered. Thermonuclear powered. It makes heat, which runs a generator, which charges the batteries. That piece of shit has all that technology on it. It can drill, it can analyze, it can do all that stuff millions of miles away, send that data back. They can tell you what the fuck is on Mars and they can't find kids. Get the fuck out of here. They can go to Mars and find stuff on there, but they can't find 800,000 kids a year missing. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You know, we need an out-of-this-world reminder that there is a world beyond us, many worlds beyond us, of which we lack obsession, but we maybe should obsess, so they take our mind off ourselves. And one involves the planet Mars and what this Curiosity rover, like a lunar rover, but on Mars, and what it's been digging up and finding out the last 6 years. It's been slowly traversing the Martian surface here. And NASA released some fascinating findings from the data that has come from that steady but reliable little glorified Jeep, if you will. Quoting from the NASA report, Curiosity has shown that the Gale crater was habitable around 3.5 billion years ago. It's a large swath of that planet, I should point out, with conditions comparable to those on early Earth where life evolved. They go on to say the question of whether life might have originated or even existed on Mars is a lot more opportune now that we know that organic molecules were present on its surface at that time.
They can find organic molecules. The second smallest thing. It's next to an atom. You have a single atom, a couple of them make a molecule. They can find molecules on a fucking planet millions of miles away with an instrument that can send signals all the way back to fucking command control in NASA, and they can't find some fucking kids that are missing with all the shit they have. NSA can literally look in your house using your Wi-Fi. It makes a 3D map of your room because it bounces it off like radar, and they have a 3D map of your house. The power pump company, you don't even have to have a computer connected to the internet and they can tell what you're typing, because everything you type has a frequency. Like the letter 0 is 11010. It becomes a frequency in your processor. So as you type, all these different keys make a different frequency. That frequency can get picked up literally by the power lines, and they can tell you what you're typing on a computer that's not connected to the internet. But yet they can't find 800,000 kids a year. P900 Cool Pics, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you helping me out with the audio earlier. I'm sorry if I'm ranting. I just really, this pisses me off. Let's continue. And I thought Mars was red. I swear they're like trying to play it off. They like turn it down a little every time so it's like regular. And they're like, oh no, you know, it's just absolutely insane.
Other scientists pouncing on that said, maybe we were not alone. Maybe we are not alone. To astronaut and best-selling author Clayton Anderson. Clayton, that's a remarkable finding, and it might explain why we keep visiting Mars, including this next capsule that I guess is going to burrow into the planet Mars. What do you think of all this?
Well, I think that we as humans oftentimes are hopeful that we'll find life elsewhere in our universe, and the fact that we discovered these building blocks.
We as humans are destined to find life. Well, it seems that we have a defining crossroads in what type of life we're trying to find. I'm going to go ahead and put ETs on the fucking side right now, because I want to know where our 800,000 children a year are going.
Of life that are 3.5 billion years old gives us hope. And any time that a space advocate like me can point to our population on the planet and give hope for further space exploration, I'm all for that.
You know, in your book, and it's a question of space, I mean, we look at the issue maybe about man's inherent need to explore and find out more, but we have been ceding that to many others. There's nothing wrong with a lot of people joining the same fascinating part.
So there you have it. They can send a nuclear-powered rover that has a plethora. Don't get me wrong, I believe that rover's real. Like, engineers had to build that and stuff and make it, like, work because you have to sell it. But it's not on Mars. We all know that. But they, like, have to build it, right? Engineers can really build all that stuff. They have the laser, they have the nuclear-powered, it runs on all that stuff. And they can't find kids. My challenge to the U.S. government, if your space program is real, if your technology is real, then I demand and challenge you to find these kids on a planet or whatever the fuck we live on. It's right here. You don't even have to travel anywhere. It's right here. That's my challenge. U.S. government, use your technology that you supposedly have. You just found molecules. You found the second smallest form next to an atom on a planet millions of miles away, and we can't find 44 children a day missing per state. Across the United States, 2,200 children will go missing today. And they don't know where they went. They don't know how to find them. But yet they're going to blow smoke up your ass that they have a rover millions of miles away with a laboratory that digs down, takes some little samples, analyzes them, sends all that information back, and these assholes have it, and they have the fucking audacity to tell me they don't know where these kids are, and they don't have any leads or any of this. I'm done. That's my challenge to the U.S. government. That's it. Let me read the chat. Let me see what's going on out here. I gotta unwind. I gotta chill out. I'm sorry. I wish Covado would clear his fucking throat one day. Show what's up. Hi, Snack the Future. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm just ranting today. There's a lot of serious topics that need to go on. I hate talking about it, but it needs to be brought out. Yesterday was something else. I recommend checking out the other stream. I'm not trying to promote my stream. I never do. You don't have to like, subscribe, share, or anything like that. Just look at the content. And today's a little bit different. We were showing the medical side and how they drug our kids and take them away from you so that you have no power. And then we looked at how they can find molecules on a planet millions of miles away, but they can't find children on a planet that we live, that we're on right now. Right? And then we'll have NASA lovers defending it. Well, it's because the atmospheric conditions don't allow the sensors to... shut up. There's no reason. Yeah, I know. I just don't want to get upset. I don't want to throw anybody off from watching this. I know you guys know how I am and that it's a sensitive topic, but I don't want to get all worked up. It's it's just going in. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just pissing me off. I just can't take these news conferences where they're like, and we need leads and we need this. Yeah, Like, do you not think I have YouTube? I see what you guys have for reconnaissance and data collection. Like, it's not secret. You guys can see everything we do. Whether you have a phone or not. They can use the microphone in any of your devices, as long as it's connected to Wi-Fi for this. And they can use the acoustics out of that microphone to figure out the room. And then they can match it if you keep going in that room to whoever else is in that room. So if person A and person B are in the same room, they can tell. It's just crazy. All right. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's my challenge. If the U.S. government has all this technology, they can go to space, they can do all that stuff, they can take $1 million to make a rover. Actually, they need two of them because they're $1 billion each. They have one here and one there, supposedly. And they can find molecules. A fucking molecule? Do you know what I had to do in chemistry when I took chemistry in college? To do, like... And I'm not saying that technology doesn't exist. I really believe what engineers do is real. I just don't believe they go where it goes or where they say it that it is, you know. But if they have all that technology, then they can find these kids. And until they do something about it, then I feel that they're involved in it and they're not using their technology to help. I totally understand. Yeah, I would be. Yeah. Hi, Flatlander. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. I don't have any more. Any more clips on it. I only researched a little bit this morning, and then these two articles got me really mad, and then I just thought about them finding the stuff on Mars, and I came up with this challenge to the U.S. government. U.S. government, because we're the best, right? We lead in space. We lead in cars. We lead in technology. Right? We're the best. We're America. And you know what? And we lead in missing children. No. We don't want to lead in missing children. We're done. Done. I'm gonna stream about this once a week until I see some action going. And I think with Sheriff Judd's last press conference, we're going to start to see the trickle out of... These people know how bad this is. And I think there's a fight for it. And it's going to start trickling out. And it's going to get really ugly. And the stuff people are going to see is very horrid. Just listening to the one press conference the other day... And these are just new. These are just leaking out, these press conferences. And they're as disgusting as I can imagine. And these are the first. What's going to happen as we keep finding people and more of these people? And the stories are going to get worse and worse and worse. It's just crazy. Just crazy. They are young girls coming in with missing organs daily in Chicago. Something sinister is going on. Exactly. And what's interesting to me is if they were poisoning us, why do they need our organs? I wouldn't eat an organ from something that was poisoned. I think the quote-unquote poisoning is just a side effect of something else they're doing. Because I wouldn't, you know, if I was a vampire, I would be like, oh, I don't want that blood from that person. It's tainted, you know? So these missing organs, I don't know. It's insane. It's literally like a sci-fi movie. We're living in a sci-fi movie. It's absolutely crazy. Does anybody have any links to anything about this topic? I will gladly play them on the channel, and I will lay into them. If you have any links on these monsters drugging kids, 5-year-olds, with 6 different psychotropic medications at 2 times the recommended dosage. Listen, I'm no rocket scientist, but 2 times the recommended dosage equates to not good. You know, these people are like, oh, just cut that dosage in half and double it. Like, what? It's the same. It's the same. Like, I don't know. I just don't know what is going on. And I think us individuals, I don't want to call us woke. I think the people that are privy to what's going on, because I still believe I'm under a spell. I don't know everything. I just know a couple of things, and I think as the veil starts to get lifted more, we're going to get blown away. And I feel those of us that are immersed in it this far, knowing what we know, I still believe if we found out the truth, I'd literally fall out of my chair. Like, completely fall into it backwards. It's just crazy. You know what? I gotta watch this.
We want to know, has life ever existed on Mars? Do pockets of life persist on Mars today? NASA's approach to answering these questions is to break them down into smaller and smaller steps. First, we need to know if ancient Mars was habitable. Did it once have the right climate and the right chemistry to support life? The Curiosity rover is investigating these questions by looking for organic molecules containing carbon. Organic molecules are the backbone of all life on Earth, though they can also come from non-living sources. Today, the surface of Mars readily destroys organics, making them difficult to detect.
We are decelerating.
6 years ago, Curiosity landed in Gale Crater on an ancient lake bed. A few months after arrival, it drilled into sedimentary rocks and detected traces of organic molecules using an instrument called SAM. Now Curiosity is climbing the mound in the middle of Gale Crater, and SAM has made a subsequent detection of organics. This new detection is exciting because it comes from rocks that are billions of years old. That means that the organic material within them is extremely ancient. Some of the organics that SAM has detected contain sulfur, likely introduced through geological processes. Sulfur can act as a preservative, binding organic molecules together to make them tougher and protecting them from oxidation. In fact, sulfur is the element that makes hair and fingernails tough, as well as vulcanized rubber. Martian sulfur has probably had a similar effect on these old organic molecules, helping to preserve them over geological timescales. SAM made the new detections by heating samples of crushed rock to very high temperatures, above 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This vaporized the samples and released several species of small hydrocarbons like benzene and propane. Because the hydrocarbons were released at such high temperatures, they may be the fragments of bigger, heavier molecules within the rock similar to kerogens. On Earth, kerogens are found in rocks like black shale and coal and are the products of ancient plant and bacteria. We don't know if the recently discovered organics on Mars are of biological origin, but it's exciting to find such old material preserved right at the surface. This finding is also encouraging for future exploration. NASA and the European Space Agency are preparing to send the next generation of rovers to Mars in 2020, carrying new technologies to search for signs of microbial life. In the distant past, Mars was much warmer and wetter than it is today. The rocks at Gale Crater tell us it was once an environment where life as we know it could have survived. The discovery of ancient organic molecules shows that another ingredient of life was present at that time, and it broadens our understanding of habitability of both ancient and modern Mars.
So there you have it. We just watched a quick clip of the Curiosity rover go to another planet and find organic molecules. U.S. government, we want to hire NASA to find kids, not you. You're done. You're done. We want to hire them maybe, or do something. And then here, this is the best part. ExoMars rover animations by the European Space Agency. Oh, great. So NASA is in the USA, but we have the European Space Agency making your animations. The Mars globe. I can't even believe this. The Mars globe created for the MAVEN mission by the Lunar and Planetary Institute. Stock footage provided by Pond 5. So none of this is even made by NASA. Shaji, I hate when people do presentations and are looking away from the camera. Yeah, it's why I don't use a camera a lot. I will if you guys want to see me sometimes. Maybe next time I'll do it. But I try not to use the camera because I'm always looking at the other monitor, so I'm looking away. And to be honest with you, I don't want to forget it's on and like pick my nose or something. It's really embarrassing. But there we have it. That's pretty much all I wanted to present today. I just wanted to do a live stream to follow up yesterday's because I was still amped from it from last night. The last night one was just, it's disgusting. And Sheriff Judd needs our support. I have the link in the description for the Sheriff Judd press conference. I recommend watching it. It's not going to be fun. It's disturbing. But we need to see what these people are doing and who's hiring them. When you have Disney World hiring 30-time sex offenders, that's a problem. When you have regular jobs not hiring someone because they have a minor infraction for marijuana. We have our priorities backwards. It seems as though they're protecting pedophiles and people that, not everybody, but certain companies. Disney? The fuck's Disney doing employing pedophiles, man? Come on. Come on. 30-time sex offenders? At some point, people are going to be like, are they like trying to do this? You know? I don't know. But on a side note, how's everyone's weekend going? Mine has been fantastic. I've gotten to spend 2 different streams with awesome people out in the chat. Because remember, you guys make it. Otherwise, I'm just talking to a microphone into a computer. So, you guys are, I'd say more than half the channel. You guys make like 80 to 90% of it. I just am the voice behind the microphone. And I'm going to give some shout outs out here. Let's go. I'm going to go scroll up to the top and I'll scroll down here. All right. I know Libra61 already left. Appreciate you being here and helping out with the audio problems in the beginning of the stream. Cool Picks P900. Again, thanks for being here and helping out with the audio and video at the beginning of the stream. I was having massive difficulties. Let's see. Billy Sanchez. Always good to see you. FPV Angel. Again, always good to see you too. Your sweet place. You know what it is. Let's see here. Sean G. You know what we call that? Let's see who else. Daniel Rizza. I see you out there. Let's see. I just want to name. Oh, Snack to the Future. I want to get everyone's name because all these names. Oh, Flatlander. I see you out there too. I got your name in here because all of us are Team What Was That? That's right. That's right. But that's pretty much all I had today. I don't have anything more. If you want me to continue, I will be glad to look at any link on the subject you want me to. Or if we want to get off the subject, I'll take a couple minutes to cool down. We can look at some other stuff. I'd be glad to. Or if you want me to talk about anything, I will. But I'm pretty much wrapped up what I wanted to get through today. But like I said, you guys make the stream, and if you're enjoying it, just because, like, when I watch other streams, I get, like, so sad when people end it. But I know people have lives and they have stuff to do, and I'm like, no, I could watch 2 more hours of your stream. So, and I'm not saying people are like that over me, but if there is content you want me to cover or look at, I will gladly do it. It's not a bother to me or anything. But, yeah. Again, if there's anything you want me to cover, you can go ahead and post the link in there. We'll take a look at it here. Let's see here. I'm going to play this video. Let's see. Let's talk feeding Bigfoot Slim Jim. No, no, I don't want to feed it anything. It'll, like, track me back. Nope. And it's summertime where I live now, so they're probably back up here. Sean G likes to bust me because I live in, like, I want to consider it like the woods. It's not really the country, but it is. Like, the town I live in, we literally just got our first traffic light. We don't have, like, any traffic lights or anything. Like, there's nothing. My backyard, you could literally walk into my backyard for like 4 days, and it's just woods and woods and woods and woods. And what's behind me is a game preserve. So there's no hunting, there's no nothing, and it's full of wildlife. And I'm not going to tell you what I see back there. I'm not going to tell you what's happened. But most of the time, I use a golf cart to get around my yard. So it makes a lot of noise, so the animals run. And I believe they get used to that. And sometimes I have to go in the backyard and I'll just walk. And that's when I usually catch glimpses of something. I caught some footprints once in the mud. Yeah, your sweet place. I'm not joking. They are. It sounds crazy, but they're real. I'll vouch for it right now. There's a gray one. He must be old, and it's like a retirement center back there. So it's easy for him because there's so much wildlife. He doesn't have to chase it, as in like another part of the, where it's like more dense. But the wildlife preserve, because there's no hunting, it's just full of wildlife. So I feel that the older gray ones like go here. It's easy for them to hunt. Little big yeah, exactly, Sean. You should. The first like week, people didn't know what to do, and they're like, "What is this?" Like, it was pretty crazy. Yep. So, what's everybody think? Does everyone think? I want to take a survey on something real quick here. Has anybody noticed an increase or a decrease in chemtrails? I'm going to go ahead and look out my window because I want to put I am fully overcast. I have zero view of the sky. It's a complete solid gray color. Sean, I'm not going to lie, Sean. Every time I go in the backyard, because my yard has a pond in it, and a lot of the animals come down to get that water. So it's like a perfect area, and every time I go in the back, especially back there, I always talk out loud like, "Hey, it's just me. I'm coming to get whatever. If I need a part off I keep a bunch of cars back there, like, so I don't have to go to the junkyard. I just keep them back there. It's for Jeeps and stuff. When I go in the back, I'm like, oh, it's just me. I'm just grabbing a part off one of my cars or whatever, and I never have any issues. But there were a couple times I stored something back there, and I think I stored it in the wrong area, and they didn't like it, and they damaged some things on it. So Sean says decrease. I think they are doing more atmospheric stuff higher up. Your sweet place says she has no view at all. Billy Sanchez is reporting it comes and goes. It's been X's in the skies here lately. Flatlander, we got reports coming in. Chemtrails here today and mostly every day. It's been raining on and off for days. Totally strange for my area this time of year. What's interesting is I'm home a lot lately, and it's nice out, so I'm outside. And some series of days, I'll get 5 days where I don't see one chemtrail. Maybe one out of a plane or something like that. It could be actually just making a contrail, absolutely. But the amount I see decreases, and then the next day, after like 5 days, it's insane. As where before, I'd have them like a little bit all the time. Now it's like it goes 5 days with none, and then boom, I'm hammered. And I was just trying to take a little survey on it and see what people are noticing about it. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happening, because we are heading into tornado and hurricane season, right? Let's check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Oh. All right. Atlantic hurricane season is a time most tropical cyclones are expected to develop across the northern Atlantic Ocean. It is currently defined as the time frame from June 1st through November 30th. Yeah, so we are heading into hurricane season, and I think we need to pay attention, see if there's any anomalies. Don't get me wrong, weather happens and stuff like that, but we know we're not stupid over here. We know what's going on. So let's see what's gonna happen with it. Are we gonna have freak storms that make 90-degree turns and head directly into areas known for not having proper drainage? I mean, come on. Let's find out when tornado season is. All right. Although the period in which most tornadoes strike is March through June. However, tornadoes have been documented during every month of the year. So there we have it. So as we approach I'm just going to call it dangerous weather season instead of saying hurricane and tornado season. Dangerous weather season. Let's take a let's be mindful. At least I just want to see, because I'm going to ask probably every stream what people are seeing around, because what an awesome source for data collection. We have people all over. Like the NASA rover has to use a little laser and it can tell you like what's in the ground, but I can just ask people out in my chat, what's it like where you're at? And I can get a full description. I can get a description of the climate, including probably barometric pressure of over there, what the cloud looks like, what the atmospheric distortion is, how far can you see today using your weather app? Let me know. You know what I mean? So the amount of data collection that can be done just by us in a chat is, to me, impressive and awesome. And I think we should make really good use of that. So I will be asking, I think, on the streams from now on, you know, through the summer, what people are seeing around. How's the weather where they're at, and what's it look like? Sean G says, "Oh my, Hurricane Maria man-made upload should be ready Tuesday." So let me get this right, Sean. You're going to have something uploaded Tuesday about Hurricane Maria? Oh, you know what? I'll show you. Let me see. I don't know if I want to get back into that just because we're on the weather stuff now. I'll save it for next time. I have a picture that's pretty interesting. We'll save it for next time. We're talking about weather now. We're planning strategic operations for data collection across the United States via the What Was That team. Ah, Sean G, I cannot wait for that. Yep, showing how it was. Yeah, absolutely. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Man, I appreciate your work. It takes time to do all this stuff. I got papers ruffling, all that stuff, like I told you. It's tough, man. Put in the work. Everyone does. Everyone who streams puts in work. Definitely not easy. When I first started my first stream, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. And it sucked. I was awful. Let me go find it. Here, I'll show you something cool. Let's see. Hold on. I just want to find, let's see. When I first did my first stream, I had to use the Google Hangouts, and it sucked. But when I first streamed, I got hammered, man. People were really upset with the stuff I was doing. And my first stream, here, I'll show you. My first stream's title was, "Is it flat or is something wrong with me?" June 8th, 2017. Wow, look at that. I've been streaming for a year now. 1 year. My first stream was, is it flat or is something wrong with me? I got one comment. Someone told me there was something wrong with me. Yeah, the editing really gets... That's why I don't do any videos anymore. I can't. I'd rather just live stream and mess up live and apologize for it and continue. I'm just not good at the editing. But let's see. I'm gonna show a video. Let's see here. Let me find something here. I think people should see this. All right. This is in Russian right here. It's just about the Soyuz missions in 1969, because supposedly back then the United States and Russia were fighting for the space race, and they had, you know, they're doing all this stuff. I'm a year next week, and yeah, Sean, I remember when you first started, man. I remember it. I remember it vividly. Congratulations. A year and going strong. People thought we'd drop off and fall off because of, you know, because of being fake and stuff, right? Well, I think they were wrong, because I feel stronger than ever. Have more of a backing than ever. And we're not going anywhere. So let's check this clip out. This is from the Soyuz 4 and 5 missions in 1969. Let's notice the difference between the US space program and the Russian space program. Let's see if we can decipher the difference in 1969. We're going to be able to. I guarantee we're going to be able to figure out some things different between the two space programs. So let me make this full screen. I'm going to turn the volume down on it a little bit because we really don't need to hear it. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I don't want to bore anybody. So here are the Russian they call them cosmonauts, you know. So here they are, exiting the bus. Look at the walk on these guys. These guys are confident as hell. They are Russians. It's cold up there. They're tough as fuck. Wait a second. What's going on? Oh, he's waving goodbye. Okay, all right. Oh, he's going up the elevator here. Here we have it. So we get the 3 cosmonauts on the missile, or I'm sorry, let me on the rocket, because they're the same thing. The only thing they do is take off the ICBM tip and they replace it with the capsule. So it's the same firecracker. So this whole structure right here, 95% of this thing is all fuel. The other 5% is the shitty skeleton structure and the skin. And then the little capsule up front here. So 95% of this is fuel. It's literally a bomb. It's an explosive. And has anybody noticed anything strange? Look at these guys. So we got 3 cosmonauts prepped and ready for space. Does anybody see can anybody tell me one difference between the American space program and the Russian space program? We can see right now. I'm looking at it for 1969. first thing I see is these guys don't need spacesuits. These guys are in regular attire. They got bomber jackets on, they got hats on, and these guys are going into space. Just waving by up there. They're not putting their suits on up there. These assholes are literally in regular clothes. Meanwhile, let's compare it to the US. So check this out. We're going to watch let's see. This isn't even a video I want. Here we go. Nope, sorry. Another. Here we go. Come on. Come on, what was that? Okay, so here you have the American astronauts prepping. They're having breakfast. And now they're getting into their crazy spacesuits. Carleen McLean, thanks for joining us. Peace to you out there. Hope you're enjoying your day. We're just taking a look at the difference between the American space program in 1969 and the space program for the Soviet Union, with Russia in 1969. So here we have astronauts getting prepped in $1.3 million suits in 1969 money. Don't get me wrong, I believe these suits are real. They don't fog up when they have the masks on. They're clearly filtering air. They can go underwater, so they're sealed. I do believe in technology, but they're just not going to where they say they're going. But let's see. Oh, now they got a bubble on. Here we go. Testing it out, pressuring the suit up. So they have to go through hours. Look at these guys. Now these guys are prepped to go to space, right? In their rocket. External life support pack right here till they get hooked up to the units in the capsule. So all that crap, they got all this crap. Look at these guys. Not going to the moon. Right, so here we go. Now let's go back. Let's see the Soyuz. Let's see their prep. Russians are so tough. They don't need spacesuits. They just get in the bus. They get on the rocket. You know, what they're not telling you is the Russians ride on the outside of the rocket. That's how tough they are. Amazing, right? No, they don't ride on the outside, but I'm just joking. Like, what? It makes no sense. Hey, everyone. Thanks for your money. Oh my God. Those guys are prepped to go underwater, aka... Yes, exactly, your sweet place. That's all those suits are made for. Look at how happy they are, knowing they're going to steal your money. Let's see what they do. Let's see how it is up there. Whoa. Whoa. What is that a view of? And again, this is the Russian Soyuz 4 and 5 missions. we're just taking a look at the difference between the American space program and the Russian space program. And if you look here, this is a perfect grid on the optics they're looking out. You can see 220, 230, 240. This is 210 here, 220. So you have 360 degrees or whatever it is. Now, if we look here, you'll see the curve of the Earth. All right? Let's let the satellite get out of the way. Do you guys see the curve of the Earth? It's there. I see it. I see it. And everyone's telling me, oh, there's something blocking this to make it flat. Really? Then why is this here? Why is the rest of the satellite that's being sent into Earth's orbit in front of the thing blocking it? You guys see the curve? I mean, I have people tell me they see the curve in an airplane at 30,000 feet. These guys are at 90 miles in the curve. Do you guys see the curve out there? See this curve? If you look at me, it's the same little triangle, triangle, same triangle here, same little triangle here. They have a grid pattern for us. They're literally making fun of you. Telling you right to your face. Look, it's flat. You can't even see. This is a good one. This is like my favorite one right there. And you can see the little triangle, little triangle, little triangle, little triangle for the grid pattern. It's flat, straight across. What's happening? Now, another thing I noticed, what was interesting about the Apollo missions, or any of the... No, I'll just say the Apollo missions. Because we have to remember Apollo missions prior to Apollo 11 only circled the moon. And I use that in quotes. Circled the moon. Apollo 11, the only one that didn't was Apollo 13. They had problems supposedly on the 13th one. What are the odds of that? But notice when these guys are being put into the capsule one at a time, it cuts. So I have no idea if that guy's really in there. They could just move him out of the way and then put the next guy in line for the camera, turn it back on, and it looks like he's in there. But let's take... I won't stop it. I'm going to let this roll, and we'll take a look at it. U.S. Nazi'd up, so expect... That's the best curve I've seen. Window... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So whoever tells you they can see a curve from a plane, show them the Soyuz capsule where they're 90 miles up and there's a zero curve. So let's see. They're going to pretend this guy's going to get in the way. They're all going to get in the way here. Ready? So you don't see the door. And let's see. And cut. Do you see the cut? Let's go back. Let's see the tricks. So we're going to get this guy in here and we can see him going in. Get your traitor assassin there. And then the trick is, this is David Copperfield stuff. They're going to block the entryway so you don't see anything. And then they're going to cut it. And you have no fucking clue if that guy's in there. They could have cut it, removed that guy, and the original helper got back in there. And see, they're looking in a capsule of nothing. Oh, you ready, Bill? Yeah, just send me in there. Yeah, you ready to go 17,500 miles an hour? Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Come on. We need to watch what happens to X-15 hypersonic aircraft. I'm sorry, supersonic, when it goes 6,000 miles an hour. The thing's like a missile, and it like rips apart, and it's small. And then you're telling me something 20 stories tall is going 17,500 miles an hour, 3 times the speed of what the X-15 did at 6,000 miles an hour, the modified one. Come on. Come on. Brought to you both by the same company. And you're going to tell me this huge 20-story Saturn V rocket, 17,500 miles an hour, without any type of fracture. Like, it's just insane. It's just insane. Exactly, Carlene. It's all David Copperfield. It's smoke and mirrors. They're going to put him in that capsule. They're going to cover the doorway. They're going to cut it, take him out, put everyone back in front of the doorway, and start the scene again. Nobody's in that capsule. There's no way they're going 17,500 miles an hour in that huge ass object. They're good. I mean, these people are good. I only caught this like just rambling through the Apollo. So when I figured it out, I was like really upset for like like 3 months. I was bitter. I was super mad, and I kept trying to prove it wrong, and I'll prove it wrong. And I'd look for all this stuff, and it would just dig me right into that hole even more and more and more. And that's where we're at today. So let's see. We got the next asshole ready to go in. Ready? Okay, so he's in there. Third guy's going to cover the door. Make sure it's all covered. We'll block it so nobody can see anything. There we go. Have everyone cover it up. You don't see anything. And cut. All right, there. See, here you go, Bob. So now they do have him in here for this scene. Another cut. Oh, here we go. 20 guys. It takes 20 guys to do one thing. Block it all. And cut. You know, it's impossible for them to cut between this last scene and this scene and remove them from that capsule. Because if we were to go to court to try to prove something and our evidence had a cut in it, we would be scrutinized up and down. Yet, the people providing us with the utmost let me rephrase that. The people that are achieving the greatest feat of mankind through all their super science calculations aren't accurately recording it. They have to cut it. Like, what? Don't you guys just have indispensable amounts of money? Just let the film roll. Put another reel in. But we're cutting and editing and, you know, doing all this stuff at strategic times. It's pretty insane. So yeah, we just saw the difference between the Soyuz missions, where they didn't need any type of spacesuit, compression suit. So how can you be accelerated from 0 to 17,500 miles an hour, like these guys here? No suits. Jet fighters. The pilots even need to have compression suits where it squeezes you so you don't red out when you're going down or black out when you're going up. You're going to tell me these guys are going 0 to 17,500 miles an hour without any type of pressure suit to stop blood flow from being pushed to your brain or out of your brain? But who am I to say anything? I just find it incredible that jet fighters need suits for acceleration, turning, because of blood flow will make you pass out when you crash a jet. These guys are going to go in an object that's going to go 0 to 17,500 miles an hour with 0 suits on. There we have it, folks. The old smoke and mirrors trick. Let's see, how long have we been streaming here? My voice is getting tired. I got so much allergies going on. It really doesn't tell me how long I've been streaming. It says I've been streaming 4 hours and 30 minutes. Check it out. How's that possible? See that? 4 hours, 44 minutes, and 36 seconds. Real accurate. Jesus. Well, all right, everybody. I think I have covered everything I want to today. It made me feel good to decipher the difference between the Russian space program and the U.S. space program and expose the fact that the Russian footage showed a completely flat Earth. I'm not saying it's flat. I'm just saying what I saw at 90 miles was flat from the Russians. I also learned that the Russians are so tough that they didn't need spacesuits or any type of compression suit to stop the blood flow being restricted or smashed into your brain, causing blackouts or redouts. Even though they were going, let's see, a plane regular jet travels what, 500-600 miles an hour? Let's just say 700. These people are going 10, let's see, 10 times that, 20 times that speed, and they don't need any type of suits. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy that they get away with that. It's just insane. At least America tried to pull it off with cool suits and like these backpacks and the helmets. It looks legit. Like, holy shit, they're going to space, man. Look at the prep that's involved. They can't have any debris on their feet. They have like it's crazy. And then you have Russia like, oh, fuck this. We're just going to hop in this thing and fly right up there. It's like, whoa, whoa. One of you's lying. Who? Maybe they're it's something, because there's a definite difference. There's a definite difference between the U.S. space program and the Russian space program. Look at any high-altitude aircraft. They have to wear a suit that's pressurized. Look at aircraft that maybe aren't high altitude but are very acrobatic. They have to have suits that squeeze you. They're pressure suits. They inflate and deflate. And what it does is if you go down, so say you decrease your elevation, you just nosedive. If you nosedive too quick, you'll red out. Your eyes will turn red and you won't see anything. You red out. If you go up too fast, you black out because all the blood leaves your brain and you black out flying. So the suits squeeze and release you so you don't have any of that problem. Now, a jet travels what? 700-800 miles an hour? Declassified maybe? I don't know. Let's just say 800 miles an hour. Let's just say 1,000. These guys are going 17 times that speed and they don't have a suit. They're accelerating from 0 to 17,500 miles an hour with no suits on. Nothing. While also increasing elevation to what we consider record-breaking space. You know? Not just 70, 80, 90,000 feet. They're going 90 miles up. It's just insane. But that's it. I think I'm good. Unless there's anything anybody wants out there, I will gladly check out the link. I'll post it. We can take a look at it. But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap up here. And I'm going to start gathering some info for the next stream. I don't know when it'll be, maybe a couple days. I'm a little beat up from all the pollen. If you look outside, it looks like a sandstorm, but it's all yellow. It's just the pollen off the... They're not human, yeah. Something's up. Either they're both lying and the U.S. did a better job of selling it, or some shit's going on that we don't know about. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. But there's a clear difference between the two space programs. To me, NASA did a better job at playing it off. Like, everything was surgical. The suits, they did their best to cover their tracks to make it look as legit as possible. These guys are like, fuck it. We're just doing it. Record it. Show it going up. They'll believe it. You know? So I don't know. But it's for you to decide. All I do is present the evidence that I have found. And it's up to you to decipher it how you want. I will never force my belief on anybody. Yeah, and that's it. Let's see, 2 hours in. It's crazy. Crazy. I appreciate that, Shanji. I really do. Yeah, it's crazy. And I just want to give a shout out to whoever's left in here. We got Carly McLean, Sean G, Your Sweet Place, Billy Sanchez if you're out there. Let me see. yeah, I don't know. Snack the future. And if you're just listening in the background, I appreciate it. Take a look at the other streams. You may like them, you may not, but I appreciate the views anyways. They're probably more innocent than the Russians through. Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. I appreciate that, Billy Sanchez. I really do. I really do. And what I appreciate more is the people out in the chat, the people that watch it. When I go into my like my video manager and I see the views go up, I'm not happy that my views are going up. I'm happy people got to see the content, because I try to provide content that I find is questionable, arguable. And with that, I believe that people can really start to see the picture and make quality judgments on what these people are doing to us. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Flatlander. I see you out there. Team What Was That includes every single person out here, because this channel doesn't exist. This information doesn't get out without you. Like I always say, I talk to a mic. That's it. You guys get the info out there. And every time I see the numbers go up a little bit on my videos, I'm just happy that that information is getting out there, and I hope it gets shared to someone else. I'm not in it for views or anything. You'll never hear me say that stuff. I really enjoy doing the streams for everyone. It's fun. Takes a little bit of time. I get really upset when they're not organized, and I try to do my best to make them organized. So with that, I appreciate everyone for checking out the What Was That channel. I'm going to end with my intro, but I'm going to use it for my ending because I forgot to play it. So I love all you out there, and I appreciate everything you guys do for the What Was That channel. We can go ahead and
New world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance